This is the biggest lie headhunters and hiring agencies don't want you to know about. You've probably found someone who looked great on the interview, but once you hired them, it was nothing but nightmare. It's because headhunters and hiring agencies don't care about finding you the best person. They only care about getting paid fast. The truth is, the system is rigged to benefit them, not you. What if I told you there was another way to finding hires that actually moves the needle in your business? Which is why in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to be doing differently to hire the right team members. So if you want to escape hiring the wrong people over and over and over again, watch until the end. So let's start with the lie. The lie is that most hiring agencies are incentivized by speed, not the right fit. That means that they would rather place someone in your business within a couple days rather than spend an extra 1 or 2 weeks or even a month to find you the perfect person. They care more about speed than the actual fit. So what does this lead to? Well, it leads to candidates rushing the process, not answering questions correctly or fully on their application, not completing any skill tests, and interviewing and then making it through the process fast to then interview, but not have a detailed interview because so many things were missed previously. Then what happens? You only have a couple very mediocre at best options, and then you pick the best out of the worst examples, which puts you in a very tough position because you only have a couple people to look at. So what happens here is that you're paying thousands of dollars for this hire, but you just hired the wrong person. You weren't excited to hire them at all. And now this person either quits or gets fired within the first few weeks, and now you've lost your money. Let's talk about what a bad hire can cost your business. Well, a bad hire is not only going to cost your business financially because you're gonna have to pay them week over week or month over month, but the energy and time that you're putting into these hires, you can never get back. So while you spend weeks, if not months, on this new hire, when it comes to onboarding and training and managing them, you'll never be able to get that time back. And yes, while you did learn something and you were able to build hopefully a good system around them, well, this could have all been avoided if number one, you already had the right system in place, and number two, you hired the right person from the beginning. You don't want to make mistakes at your own cost over and over again. And of course, no business has ever hired everybody correctly. But as a small business, you have to make the right decisions way more often than the wrong decisions. Every wrong hire can cost your business tens of thousands of dollars, not just in their salary, but in the time that you've invested. Imagine if you put that exact time and energy into growing the business, into getting sales, into marketing, maybe even into content that can help you produce much more leads and help you grow your brand. These are things a lot of small businesses don't think about, which is why they risk hiring someone at $3, $4, and maybe even $5 an hour. And they're in their head, they're like, well, this person was cheap. So even if you end up paying them $600 or $700 a month, guess what? It's not about what you're just paying them. It's about the time and the energy that you're spending with them and you're committing to them. While at the same time, you could have taken the time and energy, put that elsewhere, or even better, hire the right person from the beginning so that way they can kick ass from the start and help you get the exact results you're looking for. And here's the truth. Most hiring agencies don't have a hardcore vetting process. They don't do any skill tests, and they're looking at the same job boards everybody else is. They're looking at Upwork, they're looking at Fiverr, they're looking where all people who want a remote job, whether they speak perfect English and have experience and skill, or they just graduated from high school, they speak very little English and they have no work experience, because everybody can apply on Upwork. Everybody can apply on Fiverr. So you have to be very understanding that these headhunting agencies, they're doing nothing special. They promote like they are, but in reality, they're not. You have to be very careful when it comes to this, because only seldom agencies actually have a hardcore vetting process, a process where skill tests and personality tests are a must, a process that shows the English level of each candidate being at a high level, what we like to call C1 and C2, which is how language in Colombia and all over Latin America is judged. C1 and C2 is basically fluent English, okay? If they're not able to speak English and they don't have working experience, they're not going to be able to pass a hardcore vetting system. And this is what makes Remote Latinos different. When I started this company, I noticed that a lot of these hiring agencies don't do hardcore vetting, don't have a process in place. They don't do skill tests. And I thought to myself, Is this the reason why so many people are hiring the wrong people? And I realize it is. It's because there's no help on the back end to take these candidates through a hardcore vetting process. So we have crafted processes, systems, and testings to ensure quality over quantity. I don't care about placing 1,000 people in a year if those 1,000 people don't end up working out. I want to place 1,000 people that can grow and develop within the company, that can help the company scale, and that can help the company make more money so that the candidate can become more valuable to the company so they can ask for more money. I'm not looking for the $3 to $4 an hour people. I'm looking for people that want to start their career and they're coming in with high demands. They have high expectations for themselves, which is why they ask for higher salaries. And even those salaries are still significantly lower than anything you would pay in the US. So if you guys are looking to hire top level talent in Latin America, people that go through hardcore vetting process, a company that disqualifies over 80 to 90% of its applicants. We are literally looking at a 10 to 20% of applicants that are actually viable for a remote career. Then head over to RemoteLatinos.com and let us help you find your next Rockstar Remote Latino. But I have one more thing to tell you guys about. This is the lie that nobody ever tells you about. If you are looking to work with a company, whether it's a headhunting company or whether it's an outsourcing company, you have to understand the biggest differences between these companies. And the reality is this, with Remote Latinos, yes, there's a little bit more risk up front, but if things work out the way it has for thousands of our clients, then you have just won the lottery. You only paid us a one-time flat fee. But if you go for an outsourcing company and they hire you the wrong person over and over again, remember what I said, time and energy you'll never be able to get back. But with this company, you're now also losing money. And every month, they're making their money. And even though it takes them maybe a few months to make $1,000, if you end up keeping this person for a year, they were not supposed to be there. They should not have been there. Holy crap, you've just lost on potentially $10,000, if not more dollars for this hire. Because a lot of these companies are charging $2,000 to $3,000 a month. They'll take home, usually it's a 50-50 split. Let's be conservative and say it's $1,000 that they keep. Over a year, you're paying them $12,000. So keep that in mind, do your research. And the last thing I'll tell you guys is this. If you want to learn how to hire a commission-based setter and a step-by-step process that we use internally, I'm going to link the video below so you can watch that video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Boss.